Hi everyone, welcome on this episode of the SAP Discovery Center, and in this episode we'll have a look at missions. So if you're not yet logged on with your Universal ID, you will have a screen that looks like this in terms of the cards, and here the Discovery Center in a nutshell. Once you log in, your screen will look a little bit different because you have your My Workspace, and you can already see things that you have started in the past and things that you have estimated, for example. So just to give you just a quick view on the fact that it can look a little bit different when you log in. So let's have a look at the missions. So if you're here, it's mission catalog. Here it's also mission catalog where you have your start point. So there you can find missions defined by SAP, but also defined by partners or the community in terms of steps that you can take to complete a full mission and deploy something or do something in terms of SAP Cloud and SAP Business Technology Platform. So if we have a look at one of the most popular ones, it's establishing a unified Joule instance for the Joule AI agent, for example, which of course will be of interest to a lot of people to check this out. Then you can see a description of the use case. You have a small diagram which you can zoom into in terms of the architecture. You can see which components and services are involved. You also have a view estimate button where you can see an estimation of the cost. But there I have to mention that depending on your contract and depending on the software that you are using, this may or may not make sense to look into this, because if you have Rise or if you have Grow, then you will have certain elements already included in your subscription. So typically Build Workzone Standard Edition is in there. Identity Services will be in there. So it's mainly Cloud Foundry Runtime potentially where you might have a cost. But still, it won't be much, in fact. So yeah, depending on where you are and what kind of contract you are, you can have a look at this estimation, and it will give you then per component the pricing that is foreseen. So this just to give you a rough idea. You can see here also, you can fill this in, how many users and so on that will be using it. But again, depending on your contract, it wouldn't make sense to look into this, especially Rise and Grow. You will already have a lot of this inside of your subscription. So then it doesn't really make sense. So now we have the overview, and then we have the project board where you can see which steps to take in order to complete the mission in essence. So the necessary steps to configure this in your environment. So there, the typical thing, what you do is just start from the beginning. That makes sense. And follow through all the steps. So if you have a look here in the Discover phase, you can read about the solution overview. All right, so let's have a look at the solution overview. So here you get an explanation. You have some guidance to links also of SAP, where you can find more information. You have the architectural diagram. On the right side, you can take notes, or you can post a question also, where experts can then answer your question. And you can, on the top, I already did this, but you can mark this as this step as being completed, which will get you to the next step. So I can also manually do this. And then I can have a read on the next step, what I need to do. So you do have explanation here. I do have to say, if you don't know anything about SAP BTP, it might be challenging based on this explanation, because ideally you have an understanding of what you are doing. Even if this is now steps that are explained, you might have a hard time understanding what you're doing. So I would say start with the basics and try to learn and so on. Of course, you can try this out, but I'm not sure if it is going to work out for everyone, because some of these things really do need additional knowledge, like the authentication methods used, what kind of configuration is there, and so on. So yeah, you would still need additional knowledge in order to run through this and do this properly, I would say. But at least you have an idea of what it is. You have missions that start really from a beginning situation where it's something quite easy to do and so on. So you can also learn there, and you have some curves and learning curves in terms of it being more for beginners or more intermediate or more advanced missions. But it's a really nice concept. And as mentioned before, there is also room for contribution. So partners can also create missions. It would also be visible if you as a partner create a mission, and then other people can follow that mission to really establish the solution. So this was now a quick overview of the missions inside of the Discovery Center. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and see you in the next episode.